What's going on, guys? Duke of TBC here. I have not recorded an episode in a while. I tried to record one episode. It decided that it just didn't want to record, even though I pressed the button. So I've not recorded anything at all for Standard. I've been meaning to. I haven't really been able to play much of Standard, just a little bit here and there. I'm training to become an English teacher for Japanese students, so English as a second language. I'm really excited about it. It has just been eating up a pretty hefty amount of my time, but I want to start making videos pretty much way more often, and this is a pretty good hand. What I'm playing is Grinder Mage. It is not trying to combo kill the opponent. It is simply trying to run the opponent completely out of resources, and we are trying to take things into fatigue. It does pretty well against other...
Are you my master?
This is the one deck I hate. It does pretty well against control decks, simply because I normally just have more answers than they have threats. The only annoying, the truly annoying deck is Cthulhu, because no matter what it does, it sets you down to 1 health, and that's pretty difficult to come back from. So normally I try and save some healing, but this is the one card that I'm so tired of having to deal with because I do not have Flame Cannon anymore, and now you see why. It gets to a point with Priest where they kill one of your minions, and I literally, this thing will probably never die until I draw a Fireball. So I have to attempt to whittle it down, which isn't going to work. Just how it is. Cthulhu Priest is probably one of the strongest decks when played correctly. Simply because they play some early cards and they have so much removal that there is simply nothing you can do about it. So we'll see. Maybe I can get myself out of this somehow. 3 damage per turn really isn't that big a deal. But it does start to wear on your nerves pretty quickly, especially because if this thing doesn't die, his Cthulhu will get to the point where it will just simply kill me. But we'll see what I get from my Kabbalist Tome.
I feast upon the light.
Your deck betrays you.
So I really need a freeze right now. 6, 7, 8. So hopefully, because he ended up using a Shadow Word Pain, he does not have a second one, and I'll finally be able to clear the board because I am dying.
It was
7 mana 6/6 is a little less than good.
the end is coming.
So spreading out the damage a little bit. Hopefully he does not have a Shadow Word Pain. If he does, then I guess that's just how the game goes. Nothing you can do about it. This is pretty much the turning point of whether I can still win the game or not. I do not have any minions to put down on the board, though, which really, really sucks.
Death is close.
So if he has Secret Eater, then I basically just lost. Hopefully he's already played some small minions, so hopefully he doesn't have anything small that he can hit my Mirror Entity with. And for that matter, I just don't look like I am a mage that should be running Mirror Entity. Hopefully he lost track of the Kabbalist Tome cards and he thinks like, oh, it's probably just, you know, Ice Block and Ice Barrier. Or Frost Barrier, I forget. But if he has Secret Eater, I've already lost.
Let me change your mind.
Up, Fireball, Fire Blast pretty much takes care of this. And from here on out, we are pretty much hoping that, yeah, this is...
No! Obey.
Alright, 4 health minion. Let's see if we can just beat him to death with it. That is the plan now. 6 cards in hand to my 7 in hand.
My dream ends. Your nightmare begins.
So I do not have one of my 2 polymorphs yet. There's one of them.
Funnel cakes! Get your funnel cakes here!
So if he has a Doomcaller... Wow, that didn't even pop me? Wow. So Cthulhu's gone, so he has to have a Doomcaller to get it back. So if he doesn't have Doomcaller, if it's in the bottom of his deck, we're in really solid position.
Pay up!
Alright, well, we'll see if we can keep this going. The second he plays anything, we're going to be trying to get... As long as I get 2 or more spells off of Archmage Antonidas, I'm a happy person.
Pay up!
So he's essentially only taking 1 damage per turn, which sucks, and I need to start doing some major healing. I need... The problem is if I play a tournament medic, I'm hoping he plays a second Cabal Shadow Priest, because I desperately need
Pay up!
to actually get some value out of my
You require my assistance.
tournament medic before anything happens to it. So the farther he draws in, the more he's going to get an answer to Archmage Antonidas. So I'm just kind of praying that I can actually get some more value out of him. Entomb, really?
Do you know the secret handshake?
1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 22. Wait, 1, 2. You know what? Yeah.
Pay up!
We are taking a bit of a gamble here, because if he heals,
Mind if I roll knee?
we're just kind of SOL. But if he doesn't have a heal,
You want it? I got it.
Alright, so we are actually in a good position now. If he does not heal, we have 15 in hand. So he has to kill this. And if he just heals and leaves this on the board, that's going to be lethal. That's what we're trying to set up for. Of course, I took the Kabbalist's Tome.
You require my assistance.
Really now. And that's game.
Aha!
Well played.
So that's how you beat a control mirror.
Pay up!
You get them to a point, you're not supposed to be like, oh, I'm just gonna burst them to death, but sometimes that's just how it goes. So there you go. 16 health is not safe against this deck because, and look how much resources I still had against this deck. So he even took my Archmage Antonidas, it did not matter. It's simply just trying to play to your outs. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the deck. So this deck is a little bit interesting because you look at it and you're like, huh, there's no real just straight win condition, and that's the point. Arcane Explosion is currently the questionable card in the deck. The things that I would take it out for is possibly Flame Juggler, a second Blizzard, a second Kabbalist's Tome, anything utility-wise. The reason I have it in here is because Zoo is so prevalent right now that they flood the board with 1 health minions, and normally you just don't have a decent way to deal with them. So Arcane Explosion is my answer to Zoo. I'm not seeing them as much as I'm seeing Druid, as much as I'm seeing Priest, as much as I'm seeing Paladin, as much as I'm seeing Warrior, or even Rogue, but I'm still seeing a pretty heavy amount of Zoo. So of course Frostbolt is Frostbolt, early removal, and as you saw, sometimes it's just good for killing your opponent. Doomsayer plus Blizzard or Frost Nova combo, as you saw. Frost Nova plus Doomsayer won me the previous game against the Priest. Sometimes you just drop it on turn 2 through 4. Your opponent does not have 7 damage. You just get to wipe the board and it works out. Arcane Intellect, your primary draw source. Forgotten Torch, just early removal, as well as it adds the Blazing Torch into your deck, which means that you fatigue slower, which means you also have a lower cost Fireball to look forward to. As you saw in the turn, the lower cost Fireball actually mattered because I was able to Flame Blast the Loot Hoarder. Frost Nova, as I mentioned, combos with everything. Sometimes you just need to freeze one enemy for a turn, as you saw in the previous one, and that's going to get you lethal. Ice Block, of course, keeps you from dying for a turn, and sometimes that is all you need to keep yourself from a loss. Acolyte of Pain is your second draw engine. The deck does not, as you saw, I didn't draw that many cards. The deck does not need to. You are instead creating cards for yourself. But of course the draw is needed to keep going in case you don't get your card creation. Fireball is Fireball, shouldn't need an explanation. Polymorph, as you saw, it is my answer to cards like Cthulhu, my answer to Savannah Hivemane, Tyrion Fordring, all of those things. So your 16/16 is now a sheep and it's gone. Refreshment Vendor, currently the best heal in the game right now as far as I'm concerned. Tournament Medic, you did not get to see it shine in this last game, but against many decks, once you're getting into the final turns of the game, you're hitting them for 1 damage and you're healing for 2, and I've actually won a few games simply off the back of Tournament Medic. Kabbalist Tome, I'm currently only running 1 because it is incredibly slow, and normally, as you saw, I do not even come close to running through all of my options. So you don't want a big hand of stuff that you can't play. You want to be more proactive than that. But once again, it does add extra cards that your opponent, out of the outside 30, your opponent has to deal with. And the reason I'm only running 1 of these is because I'm also running 2 Ethereal Conjurers. This card is amazing. You get a 6/3 body that must be dealt with, and you also get the spell. And as you saw, it matters. Blizzard, of course, just a 1 of. A lot of times it helps set some 6 and 5 health minions to 4 or less to set up for Flame Strike, and a lot of times you just need that freeze with Doomsayer or to stall for a turn to get lethal. Flame Strike is Flame Strike, it's just your really good board wipe. And then, of course, Archmage Antonidas. Him, if you get 2 to 4 spells off, honestly, if you get 2 spells off with him, not only have they dealt with Archmage Antonidas, but you've also gotten 2 fireballs. So he has 3 cards that he normally eats 3 resources from your opponent's deck. Anything past 2 spells, you have hit the lottery. I played against a Paladin earlier. I got to play 4 spells. I had 5 fireballs in my hand, just sitting there waiting for him to try and do anything. Eventually, you know, they're all just going to go to his face like the last game, and it doesn't matter. So once again, this is not a combo deck. This is a pure grind the game out, outplay your opponent. I do not believe this is an easy deck to play. Some people are like, oh, you just, you know, wipe the board and, you know, you just grind things out. Resource management comes into a big play while playing this deck, and it's something that you have to get used to. When is it the best time to use a certain resource? When can you hold off? And understanding when you have to use certain removal against certain decks. So anyways, I hope you liked the video. I hope you like the deck. If you play the deck and get some experience with it or have some changes, go ahead and put those in the comment below. I'm always happy to answer questions, or I just love answering and seeing comments. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.